AITAH for refusing to distance myself from my attractive coworker? I, 38M, have been married to my wife Sarah, 34F, for 4 years. I work as a senior software engineer at a small company that I've been at for 8 years, and I am the domain expert in a specific area of our software stack. About a year ago, we had a new coworker ally join the team. I helped her with the onboarding process, and she ended up taking on some projects in my area of expertise, so we have continued to work pretty closely together. There has never been any flirting from either of us. She knows I'm married. I think she's single because she hasn't mentioned having a partner, but we don't really do personal conversations like that. We mostly talk about work, interesting news in our industry, sometimes books, movies, etc. Now the thing about ally is ... she's undeniably very conventionally attractive. Tall, slim, blonde, symmetrical. If you met her in the street, you'd probably guess actress or model, not software engineer. I will admit that when I first met her, I thought this is probably the most attractive person I will ever meet, but not in like an I want her way, more like just amazed that a person this perfect looking exists. But after that initial shock, she quickly became just my coworker ally. I eventually learned that she had to leave her last 2 jobs due to sexual harassment. Luckily, our team is mostly younger guys who've recently graduated from colleges with more balanced gender ratios, and we already have 2 other women engineers on the team, so everyone knows how to act respectfully toward each other. My wife knows about all of my coworkers, including Ally, but hasn't met Ally in person before. The problem happened last night when Sarah and I were out with some friends. We were standing at a crowded bar waiting for drinks, and someone squeezed in beside us, and it was Ally. She was dressed up for clubbing in a tight black outfit and lots of makeup. I said hi and introduced my wife. Ally was very polite and said hi, but seemed kind of awkward and quickly left with her friends. Later, my wife started grilling me about why I had never told her about Ally. I had, plenty of times. Why did I never tell her she was hot? Because it wasn't relevant. Did I ever spend time with her alone? Yes, we work together on some projects and have meetings, but never hang out alone. Did Ally know I was married? Yes, of course. Why did Ally seem so uncomfortable to meet her? Probably because she didn't want her coworker seeing her in a revealing clubbing outfit. How come Ally had never come to any of the happy hours or holiday parties when she was there? I don't know. She never goes to those events regardless of whose spouses are there ... and on and on. I kept trying to assure her that I'm not interested in Ally, but she wouldn't believe it. She finally told me that she wasn't comfortable with me ever being alone in a room with Ally. I told her that's just not possible with the nature of our work. She told me I could reassign her to a different project. This pissed me off because Ally is great at her job and has been fighting this kind of sexism her entire career. My next comment is probably the asshole moment. You're a pretty HTD feminist if you think I should deny a girl career opportunities just because she's hot. She's one of the smartest people I've ever worked with, and I'm not going to punish her because you're insecure, so you need to get over it. I slept on the couch. Now, after cooling off, I feel really terrible about saying that. I understand why my wife feels insecure. Our son is 16 months old, and she hasn't snapped back. Her words, not mine, and Ally was looking very fit last night, more than I would have even guessed. She dresses very modestly at work. I know I wouldn't be thrilled if she worked with Chris Hemsworth every day. But I also understand why Ally feels insecure that no one thinks she's smart or takes her seriously as an engineer, and Sarah's making the same HTT assumptions about her that her old coworkers did, and it made her life so miserable that she quit 2 very well-paying jobs. If I had to choose between my wife and Ally, I would choose Sarah 100%. I just don't feel like I should have to. Am I the asshole? Second comment, you're standing up for what's right here. Ally shouldn't be punished because of her looks, and your wife shouldn't be so f-king insecure that she thinks she should be able to push you to influence Ally's career in any way. Either you trust your partner or you don't. She has no reason aside from her own securities to mistrust you, and quite frankly needs to shut the FC key up. That stuff you said to your wife that you felt bad about saying? It was just right. It was perfect. It was firm. It was true. And it needed to be said. Why isn't wife sleeping on the couch instead of you? Why does she think it's okay to insinuate the things she did and to control you in the way she was trying to? Maybe she gets slack because of the baby, but damn, keep sticking up for Ally. You shouldn't have to choose between wife or her. And quite frankly, anyone thinking they can get me to hurt or cut out or push away someone who's done nothing wrong would make me resent them so much. If I had gone through with what they wanted, I'd never look at them the same again. Third comment, yep, and now what you do is reframe it. Look, I apologize for calling you a shitty feminist or insecure. I was attacking you because I felt attacked out of nowhere, and that was the wrong thing to do. The thing with Ally is that she came to us after quitting 2 jobs for sexual harassment and sheer SS treatment. The sorts of things people were saying and doing to her were exactly what you were saying and doing, moving her to different jobs, taking her out of her areas of expertise, not trusting her, etc. I've actually been feeling pretty good about how she is treated at our workplace, and that she's finally found a place to work where she's respected for her work. It would be unprofessional of me to treat her any other way. I realize you're struggling with how your body has changed after childbirth, but that's you, it's not me. I think you're even more beautiful than before, and in addition, I'm grateful that you carried and bore our child, and that you survived the experience with your physical and mental health intact. I need you to really think about if I've ever given you any reason not to trust me. If you're still having doubts, maybe one or both of us needs counseling. 4th comment. The funny thing is my wife has dealt with this kind of stuff almost her whole nursing career. If it's not the patients most older unapologetically hitting on her, even when their wives are in the same room. If it's not the other guys that work there trying to get her phone number. If it's not the other nurses giving her a hard time because of the attention she gets. Beautiful women seriously get it from both sides. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before. My wife is basically Salma Hayek if she was Filipino. Incredibly attractive. And just about everyone takes her kindness as flirting. And just about every other woman that isn't her friend gets territorial every single time they bring their husbands to work functions, or if someone's getting more attention. Like it sucks because it's not the first time she had to switch jobs because someone was out to stall her career because of what she looked like, or someone was looking to have a relationship, even though it was against policy and obviously against our vows. Don't understand it, because it only happens to a fraction of a group of people. 5th comment, NTA. I get why you said what you said, although it wasn't the best approach. You felt attacked and were trying to defend yourself. And for those saying you were defending Ally, you kind of had to in order to also defend yourself. I think what you should do is approach your wife now that you've both had time to cool off and say you want to discuss things. Ask her to listen to you fully before she interjects. Tell her you're sorry for what you said, but you were caught completely off guard and felt backed into a corner. Regardless of what your wife was trying to convey, what you heard during her interrogation was, I don't trust you. I don't trust her. She must be unprofessional and slutty if she's that beautiful. I think you're shallow and will trade me in for a newer, hotter model if you had the chance. I don't want you to get that chance, so I want to make it logistically impossible. And that she's essentially giving you an ultimatum: either wreck this woman's professional career, ice her out at work, and prove you love me, or don't, and I'll know you're picking her over me and our marriage, thus proving you have had impure thoughts about her. I think it's important for your wife to hear how things could be interpreted. These are your wife's insecurities talking, so she doesn't hear how her words sound when taken at face value. This makes sense to her because she's using her intent and her emotions to provide context for what she said, 2 things you do not have at your disposal. She needs to know that you aren't reacting poorly to her feelings nor her intent. If you can get her to understand that, you're going to be much better off. From there, let her know that you respect the fact this makes her uncomfortable, but punishing Ally for existing isn't going to fix this issue. Ask her to open up to you and explain how she's really feeling about this so that you can have a better understanding of where she's coming from, and also so you guys can find a solution together. If she does explain, great. Make sure you validate her feelings, but also gently point out exactly why her concerns are unfounded. If she won't open up, then just move on to explaining why none of the suspicious behaviors were suspicious, and why you would never do any of the things she's accusing you of being capable of. Be gentle. I would keep the conversation focused on you and her, and not Ally. But depending how it goes, you could also pepper in some of the reasons why this insulted you on Ally's behalf. Pick your battles. Her not thinking Ally is a home-wrecking whore just because she's pretty might need to happen over time, and wait for another day. Right now you need to get your relationship back on track. Wish you all the luck. You did nothing wrong, but I suspect your wife is in a vulnerable place right now.